This is Ashley Dingus from Power 106, and this is MyDiveo. I'm Ashley Dingus, Ashleyhollabakk on all social media. I'm from the IE, and I am currently the social media manager at Power 106 FM, and it's the biggest hip-hop station in Los Angeles. I got started within the industry with an internship at KISS FM, and that's how I got my foot in the door in radio. So, I mean, the biggest change from just working at a top 40 pop station, which like what we call like in the radio world is like a bubblegum station, to a hip hop station is just the atmosphere, and it's more of like an easygoing vibe, and they can kind of speak freely and do whatever they want. Being a social media manager in this day and age is a challenge, but it's like also a blessing. A lot of the people in radio that I work with and even in entertainment are, you know, the people that have been around for the past 25 years, and they in the past 6-7 years are just learning about digital media. So sometimes as a social media manager and a digital person, the biggest challenge is trying to prove yourself to your higher ups or people that aren't necessarily comfortable with the digital. You know, I'm a brand manager on top of that, so I have to make sure Power looks its best at all times. So it's intimidating, but it's like, it's really cool. Like I can go on my phone on the Power Twitter and like write out a tweet, and I just feel like that's really special. Making the transition from more of a behind the scenes person to an on-camera personality has been awesome. It's a crazy transition because, you know, when you're behind the camera, it's not as scary because no one can see your facial expressions or if you're nervous or anything, but when you're in front of the camera, it's like all eyes on you, and you have to practice a lot, and you have to make sure you do your research, and you really have to just strategize, and you really have to make the artist feel super comfortable. One of my favorite artists that I've ever interviewed is probably Kid Ink, and you know, I asked him about addiction, and you know, he really shared with me that like he probably wouldn't be putting out music if he hadn't quit video games, and it was just a really cool experience to get that out of him. And the other artist, probably Chris Brown. It was so funny, I have these pictures on my Instagram page. He's like literally holding me for like 7 whole minutes, and we just had this like bonding moment, and I'm just like all snuggled up on Chris Brown and have all these selfies with him of me, you know, hugging him, so it was really cool. The biggest piece of advice that someone's ever given me: don't burn your bridges with anyone. I've seen in situations where people that have gotten fired have ended up coming back around and being the person that, you know, that fired them, their boss. I think my biggest cosign has probably been with Yessie Ortiz, DJ E-Man, and my two like major bosses at Power, which is Jimmy Steele and Diana Jason. They let me build those relationships, and that's part of the reason why I'm here now. Like I wouldn't have met Roslyn had Yessie not introduced me to her and like co-signed for me. If I can go back in time and talk to a younger Ashley, I'd probably remind her every day to not be so hard on herself. But that's, in college, I was just like, what's next? I need to graduate, I need to do this, I need a full-time job. And it's just like, live your life, chill out, it's gonna happen when it's supposed to.